Hi there and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Rob. I'm an English teacher with the Balkan School of Languages. We're a language school based in the French-speaking part of Switzerland, and this channel is dedicated to helping you improve your English skills. Today I have a video for you on pronunciation. So let me start by giving you three verbs. The verb to wait, the verb to love, and the verb to work. So what do these three verbs have in common? They're all regular verbs. So if we want to use these verbs in the past simple or the past participle, in fact, because for regular verbs it's the same, then what do we need to add to these verbs? That's right, we need to add the letters ed. So far so good. Now, how do you pronounce these three different words? Is it waited, loved, worked? No, of course not. It doesn't sound good. So how do we pronounce these words? So the first one is waited, the second one loved, and the third one worked. So you can see here we have three different pronunciations for the same two letters. In fact, the past simple is not so simple. So in fact, it's quite tricky and it's difficult for a non-native speaker to decide how to pronounce these words. Particularly you have three options and none of them are what you would expect. So the aim of this video is to try and break it down for you, give you some tips to try and help you pronounce these words more correctly, more like a native speaker in the future. Let's go. So the first category that you have words that when you add the ed, you pronounce id, okay, closer to an id sound. And as from the example at the beginning of the video, wait is one of these verbs. Some other verbs in this category are need or accept, or the verb to waste. Now, the verbs in this category are verbs that finish with the sound. That's important. I say the sound, not the spelling, but the sound D or T. So for example, waste, you finish with a T sound. Okay, when you write, you finish with an E, but it doesn't change the pronunciation. So verbs that finish with a D or a T sound that are regular with the ED, you then pronounce id. Wait, waited. Need, needed. Accept, accepted. Waste, wasted. So now to give you an example in a sentence, and feel free to try this at home. The idea is that you practice. Practice makes perfect. I waited for 2 hours. I needed some help on this project. I accepted the job offer. Or we wasted too much time. Now the first category was the easy category, unfortunately. The second and the third categories are a little bit more complex. So, when we have the D sound, just a D, like loved from the example, here, this is when the verb finishes with what we call a voiced consonant. So a voiced consonant is when you use your voice to produce the sound. Some examples. The W sound in well. Okay, it means the sound, it comes from here. Well. I have to use my throat here to produce the sound. W, well. Or N, new. Or V, vet. In one of these voiced consonants, you then just pronounce with a D sound. So some verbs that finish with these voiced consonants are the verb to allow, or the verb to rain, or the verb to love. And again, remember, it's based on the sound, not the spelling. The E here, it doesn't change the sound. The last sound you make in love is the V. And the V, it's the same as from V in vet. Allow, the W, it's the same as in well. And rain, like in new. So to pronounce these words in the past, allow, allowed. Rain, rained. Love, loved. And in context, again, this is your opportunity to practice. We were not allowed to leave. It rained all afternoon. I loved that movie yesterday. Now, on the other hand, the third category, these are verbs which finish in a sound which is an unvoiced consonant. So, to explain this is a sound that you make just with using your mouth, just with air. You don't use your vocal cords here. For example, p. So the sound p, as in the word tape. P. I'm just using air, I'm just using my mouth here. The ch in the word cheese. Ch. It's just the sound coming from my mouth. Cheese. Or the k. Kid. So some verbs that finish in these unvoiced consonants are stop. Finishes in the P. The P similar to the pronunciation in tape. Or watch. The ch unvoiced consonant similar to the pronunciation in cheese. Work. K, similar to the pronunciation in kid. Now, with these unvoiced consonants, this is where you have the T sound. So these verbs in the past, stop, stopped, watch, watched, work, worked. And of course some examples. I stopped working at 6 p.m. I watched your video on YouTube yesterday. And we worked really hard this week. So that's it. These are the three rules, the three categories. I didn't say it was easy. It takes time and practice to perfect this. Use this video as a reference, come back to it, or when you're read through an article and try to analyze which of these words would be pronounced in this way. Would it be the first category, the second category, or the third category? You also have lots of adjectives which are formulated this way. It's not just the past simple, because a lot of adjectives come from the past participle too. So it's a really common construction in English and something that you really need to master if you want to speak English to a high level. So thanks for taking the time to watch the video. Subscribe, like, share with family and friends, and until next time, take care. Bye bye.